MicroStrategy has earnings tonight. It's actually called Strategy now. Kind of a better name, I guess, but it's still ingrained in here, MicroStrategy. I'm going to show you how I'm playing this. You probably know if you've been watching the channel, but it's an interesting play because anything could happen tonight with MicroStrategy. And by the way, a quick shout out to the guys in the Discord group called MSTR Den. I think that's what it is. A little birdie told me you guys happen to be talking about me every once in a while, and you refer to me as the Juice Man, which I guess I think is cool. I guess I'll take it as a compliment. Maybe I'm kind of flattered even, but a shout out to you guys. Thanks for following. Hope you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. You know, love your feedback on the comments and all that kind of stuff. And everybody else who's watching and listening, love your feedback as well. So big shout out to you guys. Thanks. So let's take a look at the screen, and I'm just pulling up what to expect from earnings tonight. And it's going to report at 5 o'clock tonight. And the revenue is forecasted at 116.6 million, which is 1% year-over-year growth. And MicroStrategy stock is going up and down. But you know what, guys? It doesn't have anything to do with earnings, right? If you're in MicroStrategy, you don't care what the company does. They're not doing anything operationally that's anything special. But what they are doing is they're going to what's called the ATM, and they're pulling out money. So they go to their shareholders. They borrow money, and they don't have to pay it back for 5 years. And they're basically diluting the stock. So they're borrowing against the stock, getting money from the shareholders, essentially, and then taking that money that they get from the shareholders and going out and buying Bitcoin. Now, when they go out and buy Bitcoin, presumably Bitcoin goes up, right? Because it's a scarce asset. So when you decrease supply of a scarce asset by buying it, presumably over time it goes up. You know what? Michael Saylor, who's the chairman of Strategy, doesn't really care whether Bitcoin is going up, down, or sideways. He's doing a dollar cost averaging strategy, and he's been right. Right now, it's accreting at about a 13% per year increase, just since he's been doing this. So he feels confident to go to the market using his stock as collateral, borrowing money, buying Bitcoin, using the increase in Bitcoin to increase the price of the stock. And that's what everybody's betting on, right? So we know that the stock has nothing to do with the operations of MicroStrategy. We know that the stock doesn't have anything to do really with the earnings or the revenues or what kind of software they're making. Look, I believe that MicroStrategy or Strategy is going to become a Bitcoin bank or some other opportunity that comes up. But this guy has amassed more than any other corporation in the world of Bitcoin, right? I think it's around 500,000 Bitcoin. And that's, 1/40th of the amount of Bitcoin that's ever going to be made. It doesn't sound like a lot, but if Bitcoin goes from today's valuation in dollars, which shouldn't really matter, we got to start thinking about things in Bitcoin terms. But in any case, it's valued right around $95,000. We don't have a supply issue on the dollar, right? We just sit there and print it, right? We spend money. We got all this, we're blowing money everywhere. We're spending money on wars and all kinds of people coming into the country and out of the country and crazy projects of, putting comic books in Iran or whatever the heck this stupid waste of money that we do is. And, we know that there's waste, right? And where does that waste come from? Well, we print the money. Well, that means you and me get devalued in our money. So if you have cash sitting in your mattress, it's worth less and less and less. I've calculated that inflation, at least for me, is 11% a year. It's not 2%, which is a tax on me. That means every year my $100,000 goes down by 11%. So next year it'll be worth about $89,000. The year after that it'll be worth 11% less than that, and so forth, right? So in about 5 years it's worth half of what it is today. That's because our government can't get its poop in a group, right? And they're spending way too much money, okay? And so how are they going to pay for that? They either come after you and me for taxes, or they inflate the money by printing more. The more of something you have, the less you value it, right? If you have one rose sitting in your vase, it's really nice. If you have 10,000 roses sitting in your vase, it's annoying. You can't even get in the room. So it's worth less, right? So that's what's going on with MicroStrategy and Bitcoin. I'm going off a little bit here on what I think the thesis is, but the scarcity component of Bitcoin makes it not your average cryptocurrency. And if you're in strategy, you know that. And so you know that this ATM strategy is actually the prototype of what's going to happen with other strategies. There's a company out there called 21, which has just been founded by a conglomerate of some pretty big players, and their goal is to get 42,000 Bitcoin right off the bat. Well, as more people start to come to this way of thinking where Bitcoin is an asset on your balance sheet, and that's an issue tonight, by the way, on earnings. If it's an asset on your balance sheet and you can value it and your dollar is going down, why would you have dollars on your balance sheet when you can have Bitcoin on your balance sheet? So you have Bitcoin, which is going up in value versus dollars that are going down in value. So all the treasurers of all these companies, at least in the United States, are able now with these new FASB guidelines, which is the Federal Accounting Standards Board, whatever, and they let you value Bitcoin on your balance sheet at a new valuation. Before, it used to be the lowest valuation that it ever had. So if you started buying it at 20,000 and it went to 15,000 and then it went to 95,000, you couldn't show it on your books at 95,000. You just showed it at 15,000. Now they're allowing it to mark to market, which means you can market to the real price, which gives you the idea of what the asset's worth. So MicroStrategy, who's been knowing this is coming, has been accumulating the crap out of Bitcoin. And so their asset base is going up. And then when they're able to leverage that, it's going to do well. Now, listen, let's talk about this little chart that I'm showing here on the screen. Okay? And this is a bunch of blah, 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 just probably like this video. But the idea is that you see MicroStrategy stock here, it's gone down quite a bit, almost to 200 from 543. And now it's on its way back up. It's like at 390 right now as we speak. And so who knows what's going to happen tonight? I teach a program called the Cash Flow Machine. In the Cash Flow Machine, I encourage my students to not take risks going into evenings like tonight where there's numbers being reported, because anything can happen. And you have control today to handle what happens tonight. Like, you don't know what they're going to say. In theory, nobody does, but people do, right? You don't know what they're going to say. So what you should do is you try to play this safe, because if this stock goes down, you're going to lose some value in your account. How do you prevent that? Well, the Cash Flow Machine, we try to make reliable income from the market. And we use a company like Strategy as our asset, and then we sell calls against it. And so if you sell calls out of the money, you're going to get a little bit less time premium than if you sold calls at the money, right? And so at the money, basically you get more time premium. Like, let's say you get $10 at the money for this week, and out of the money you might only get like $4 depending on where you go, right? Let's just kind of use that as an example. You can also go in the money and get $4 in juice, in time premium, but you'll have the in the money amount protecting you on the way down. So if you've been following me on this trade, and I've got like 50 videos on this, talking about MicroStrategy since November 20th, tonight I have the 330s. So I have the calls to the 330s, which means this stock could go down to 330 and it's 390, and it could go down $60 tonight. If it goes down $60, I lose zero. I lose zero because I have the in the money amount to protect me because I'm so far in the money. And a lot of you who are taught traditional covered calls, you buy the stock, you sell out of the money, you don't have any protection going in tonight. So the risk is asymmetric. If I'm in the money and the stock goes up, I'm not going to make any extra money, right? I'm going to have to use some working capital to buy up or let my shares go. But if it comes down, I don't have any risk. And so I'm not going to lose money until it starts to go to 330. So I'm warning you, I'm recommending you, I'm pleading that you should try to protect yourself going into earnings tonight. And I don't know what else to do to tell you that you're risking money by not protecting the downside. And if you don't understand covered calls, you're probably thinking, well, that's stupid, Mark. You should be trading out of the money so that if the stock rips to $1 billion, you make all this money. Well, that's true. You will make all this money, but then you're just a speculator. You're just a gambler. And if you're just a gambler, why not just buy, options and hope they go up $1 gazillion? You can retire. I don't play that way. I play the income game, right? So my goal is to create reliable income every week. And so that's why I'm deep in the money on MicroStrategy. We'll see what happens. If it goes up, congratulations to all you people that knew it was going to go up. I'm not Nostradamus. I don't know what it's going to do. But if it goes down, I sure hope you're going to protect yourself. And there's two ways to do it. Well, there's a lot of ways to do it. But one of the ways is by selling in the money covered calls. The other way is just by going to cash, closing out your entire position and going back in when the market's a little quieter and safer, maybe next week. So I hope that kind of gave you an idea of what's coming tonight and how you can protect yourself and prevent catastrophe. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye. Hey, it's Mark Yagi, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do that right now. That would be a great favor to me, and plus it helps me get this material out to a lot of other people that might need it. I've got a little bit of a movement going on here, and I want to try to change the world one person at a time, showing them that you can make safe, reliable income from the stock market. And plus it helps to grow the channel a little bit. Also, if you would give me a thumbs up on the video and like it, great. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down, that's cool. But just tell me why you don't like it so I can get better. And then hit the notification bell so you can get these videos as soon as they come out, because a lot of times this is timely information and you want to get that information before it gets stale. The last thing is to join my free Insider Tips newsletter. There's a link below and you get everything in one spot. You get breaking news and analysis also. So that would be great if you could do that too. See you soon.